Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by yours truly. Hi, it's me. It's Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 332. Last week's RTX coverage was phenomenal. Now we're into the birthday month officially. Not that RTX wasn't officially in that, but still, tons of episodes coming out for you guys this week, this month. I'm going to do what I did last year and feature very talented females in the entertainment industry or just people that I know. I'm excited to get those episodes out for you all. Of course, if you're listening on whatever platform, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening, feel free to leave me a review. Tell me what you like. I'd love to hear from you guys and gals, of course. And of course, if you're online and have the Soch, if you do that Soch, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both at Casting for Two. And yeah, I think I should talk about my guest, right? Yeah, because my guest is a phenomenal actress who she is so wonderful to talk to. Justina Adorno is here. She can be seen on the ABC show Grand Hotel, and it's not an exaggeration when I say she is truly a wonderful person, because I really enjoyed our chat. Even when I was editing this episode, I had a big old smile on my face. Justina is just a wonderful person, and I think everyone should go follow her and watch her show, please. Please and thank you. But of course, we got to get in this episode, all right? So everybody sit back, relax, and Chris, cue the music, please.
I'm good. I'm sorry my Skype wasn't working. I haven't logged into my Skype account in forever. They said something about my Microsoft account. I was like, what? I have no idea.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I use Skype just because it's easier for me to record everything. So whether it's Skype or just a normal phone call, it all works.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah. So, and this is a pretty loose show where we can chat about anything you like.
Okay.
But I don't want to put you on the spot, but I asked the hard-hitting questions, and this first question is going to tell me everything about you, but no pressure, okay?
Bring it on. Bring it on.
All right. How much sleep are you getting?
How much sleep am I getting? You know, my sleep has always been inconsistent all my life. I don't really know. I get enough to survive, I guess.
In a perfect world, how much sleep would you get and feel like, hey, that's enough sleep?
Oh my God. Honestly, in a perfect world, if I could just get 3 hours a day, and I'd be great. I would love that, so I could feel good and do everything I need to do throughout my day. My best days are whenever I nap. Like whenever I'm like killing the napping game, I'm like the happiest. But for some reason, I feel like I can't do that here in LA. I could do it. I do it really well in New York.
Yeah.
But not here. I haven't gotten my nap schedule together.
Well, so this is another segue off this question. But how long is a nap for you?
So like anywhere 15 minutes to 20 minutes is a nap for me.
Okay. Okay. I feel like that is legit nap. I know one of my friends is like, I need a 4 hour nap. It's like, well, come on. Like, is that really a nap?
Not really that. Sometimes it's just slumbers.
Yeah,
Sometimes you
exactly.
need those. Sometimes you really do need those. But no, if I feel like if you go past like 20 minutes, then it's really hard for you to get out of that like groggy funk, and you want to just sleep longer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is true, and that's a fact. And that is why I didn't take a nap before this interview.
Dude, morning naps are the best. I feel like morning naps are my
Right?
favorite naps.
And it's like you wake up, you do your business, you eat your food, and then you're like, you know what? Let's go back to sleep.
Actually, exactly.
But so I'm curious. Once again, another hard hitting question. But when did you know? When did you catch that acting bug?
I that's always a hard question for me to answer because I really just don't know. I feel like I've been like a little. I was very young, like just watched movies and like watched them till like my VHS like was like malfunctioning, and I would know all the words, and I'd want to perform in front of my mother or whoever paid attention to me, and I would be in school plays, and I was just always finding ways to like be on stage and perform and like storytell. I
Hmm.
just love story. I love storytelling. I love when people tell me stories. I love when I watch movies. I'm just like a story person, and so I feel like it's always been in me.
What was the most jarring thing about moving from one coast to the other?
Transportation. Oh my gosh,
Mm.
I hate it here with the transportation. Oh my god, I miss my metro. I miss
Yeah.
taking a train. I miss not having to plan out my day, and I can just jump on the train and go from the east side to the west side, or from one borough to the other. Like, I miss that so much. Over here stresses me out. Like today, I'm like, oh my God, my day's going to be crazy because I don't have the subway to help me feel a little more relaxed when it comes to transportation. So I miss
Right.
that
And
the
and
most.
and that's probably a good way to, I don't know, like get into a character's headspace, or read your lines and not having to worry about hitting somebody else.
Exactly, exactly. It's a time where I can just like relax or think about my next move without really having to pay attention to like safety in a sense, you
Well,
know.
yeah, no, oh, no, I totally get it. But L.A. has a subway that nobody knows about, though, right?
They do, it does, but like it's not as accessible. Hey, I
Right.
mean, maybe I'll try it today, but it doesn't go everywhere,
Hmm.
you know. If it did, I'd be on that metro all the time, but I haven't familiarized myself with it as much.
And how long have you been out in L.A.?
I've been here since August.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah.
Almost a year, but I'm going back to New York in like 2.5 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
And
can't
so
believe
did you
it.
did you just move out there for the show?
Yeah, I moved out here just for the show, and I stayed longer just to like get the more get more of LA than I was
Hmm.
getting whenever I was working, and then I stayed a month longer than I expected, a little more than a month. I want probably 2 months longer. It's going to be 2 months longer than I wanted to. Just because I felt like I needed more time and I needed to do a little more things here before I went back to New York. So I know I'm gonna miss LA once I get to New York, but New York is
Right.
gonna make me like feel so much better.
Yeah, and there's I love cities where you can literally just walk around and not have to worry about have more interaction with the city around you. That's always fun.
Oh my God,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah, no, LA's it's a very creative place, but it's also very secluded and individual place.
Yeah, it's like you have to have a plan whenever you go out in LA. In New
Hmm.
York, you don't necessarily have to have a plan. You could just wander and like fall into like 5 different things at least.
They both have their pros and cons, but no, I totally get
Exactly,
what you're saying.
exactly. I really have enjoyed my time here in LA, and I can't wait to come back. You know, I need more time because like even my first year in New York, I was like, oh my god, this is so hard. But I say you need at least a year to really give any city a real opinion.
Right, right. No, that makes sense. And so, what was the process like for getting on the show that you're on now?
Well, I auditioned for a couple other pilots for ABC that year,
Hmm.
and then when I got the script for Grand Hotel, and I read for Alicia, another character in the show, but I didn't feel as connected with her as I did with another character on another show.
Mm.
So I didn't really put my whole heart into it until, I learned I didn't get the part, and I was like, oh, great. Uh, I guess that's it for me this pilot season. But then I got the audition for Yoli, and I was like, oh, my God, I can connect with her so much. Like, I need to get this part. And so I invested a lot more into that audition. And then after that audition, I kind of felt like I was like not gonna get it. I was
Hmm.
like, oh well, shit. The whole room looked like no one looked like me in that room. Like
Uh,
we were totally different vibes, and I was like, oh, I guess I completely interpreted this character different. And then I got a call back the next week, and then the next day after the callback, I had a test. And then after that, I got the call that I got the role. And then I flew to Miami the next day, and then we did the table read the next. So it was really slow and really fast all at the same time.
and I'm you mentioned something that I'm always curious about, just because people, well, actors, whether they're getting started or they're looking for work, they get these roles to audition for that they just can't connect to the character, or whatever. And I always think like that has to be kind of, I don't want to say soul crushing, but let's say you do get the role, you got to be that person that you don't want to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's totally fine. I
Yeah.
think that's more exciting, whenever if I were to get cast as a character that I did not see myself playing, because it's more
Right.
challenging. Like it was more so how the script was, and I was just like, oh, I don't see myself as this person, but
Yeah.
I saw myself more as another role that I was auditioning for. So I was just like, okay, if I have to pick one of these to invest fully in, which one is it going to be? And for some reason, my heart didn't connect with her. But when I read
Hmm.
Yoli's part, I completely connected with her. But honestly, after, getting the script throughout the season, I'm a lot less like Yoli than I thought I was. Like, oh, wait. Okay, it's not going to be as easy for me.
Well, I think there was this thing where, Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston obviously started the role a certain way,
Uh-huh.
and towards the end of the show, he was just, I hate this character, I hate this guy, I'm done with him. And he was even fed up with playing Walter, and I totally get that. Just you
Really?
know
Oh my
oh
God.
yeah, no, he was ready for him to be done with
Well, the
that
world
character.
wasn't ready. The world was not ready. I wasn't ready.
They're doing a movie about it though, so we'll see. We'll
They
see.
are?
Yeah, I think it's gonna revolve around Jesse's character though.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, I love that show. I was
But yeah,
obsessed with the show.
oh my gosh, yeah, I love the show too. But I can totally see where, Walt didn't towards the end didn't have a lot of redeeming qualities about himself.
But we always knew where he came from. So it was
Right.
always hard, so at least for me, it was always hard for me to like judge him too hard. Like I was like, okay, this has gotten out of hand, but sometimes in life, like certain choices you make change you, and then
Right.
There's no going back. But I always loved his character all the way until the end. I was always rooting for him. I'm like, get away with this murder. I'm like, who am I? What am I talking about?
And then, what is your process for getting into character's headspace?
I mean, well, first, you read the script.
Mm-hmm.
I read the script, and I focus on everything that my character says and what other characters say about my character. And I guess I just open myself up to be that person wholeheartedly. Like if these were the words and this was the life I was born into, who would that be? What version of me and this character in combination, who would that be? I try to bring myself to every character as much as possible because, we can't get rid of that. You know what I mean? Like you can't get rid of yourself. And
Right.
I think that's the smartest thing as an actor to do, because if you fully get rid of yourself, you can lose yourself in a sense, if you really dive into a whole other person like that. But I haven't had a role that challenging that I couldn't see myself in it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't see a piece of myself in it. So, I mean, with Yoli, I just, related to her as much as possible and, just really lived in the moment. And that's the biggest thing, is just honesty for me. You live in the moment and you talk to the other person you're talking to in that scene, and, you really are present, I think that's the best way to be, and let whatever they're saying really land in you and let it affect you. And you react honestly in that way with the words that you were given, So I think the biggest thing for me is just to be fully honest with the circumstances and really, not to judge the character, not to judge who you're playing.
Is there something else that you like to do that, is creatively fulfilling for yourself, whether it's not acting?
I love writing music. I love writing lyrics. That's something that's creative and definitely makes me super happy outside of acting. I could do that all day. If someone plays the guitar for me, I'm like, ooh, let's make a song. It's like, I get so excited. I'm like, do you know how to play an instrument, or do you create beats online? Like, yeah. I love, it's basically, it's like telling stories. I love telling stories. So lyrically, I'm able to do that with music as well. So that's another creative outlet that I get to do. But you said after we say cut?
Yeah, like when you go home and it's like it's chill time.
If it's chill time, I definitely love to watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching movies, and I do like writing songs. Honestly, I've done that many times after and on set, just like listening to a melody and then, writing to it. It's just fun for me.
Is there ever a point where you want to combine the two? Like, oh, maybe this is, a song my character would write, or, something like that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I that's one thing I do sometimes. I find songs that embody whatever character I'm playing, and I listen to them. And if I ever need a little boost to get back into gear, I'll listen to one of the songs that I said that reminds me of this character or is telling a story that this character would be telling. Yeah, music is definitely an outlet for me.
I'm so envious of people who can write lyrics, because I've written one song in my life and I said, I'm retired, I'm good. That took too much effort.
Well, I used to do it since I was really young, and first it started off as poetry, and I would show my mom, and she'd be like, you didn't write that. And I'm like, oh, I totally did. Are you saying that because it's good or is it bad? and then I would I started writing more, and I was like, oh wait, these are more songs. They're more songs, because I did a lot of musicals when I was younger, and you know, I love lyrics. They're like, oh, they're everything to me. And so as I got older, I was like, I'm going to practice this because I really think I could be good at it. And it's honestly just practice. It is practice, Chris. Like, I was not good, and then I feel like I am getting so much better, honestly.
So what you're saying is,
practice.
I need to come out of retirement.
Get out of retirement. Get back into business.
I don't know. There's so many
Only if you really like to.
Yeah,
I really love it, so I can't stop doing it, even if I wanted to.
I mean, I'll listen to music all day, so I think that's where
that's enough.
I like to live. But as far as, if there's one thing I love on the podcast, it's a good horror story.
Ooh.
And for you, I'm wondering if you have any audition horror stories.
Audition horror stories. I don't know if there's so much horror, but definitely embarrassing.
Yeah, that counts as horror, yes.
That counts as horror? Okay. Well, I was horrified in the moment. I was a part of this Netflix series called 7 Seconds, but I had auditioned for like a smaller role, and I didn't get that part, but I went back home thinking, I think they're gonna call me back. I think they're gonna write a role for me, or another role is gonna come up that I'm gonna fit better with, just because I connected with the director and like the writer when they were in the room. And I got a call the next week after that audition saying that, hey, we have an audition for you. We don't know if she's reoccurring. She's reoccurring, possibly, but there's no lines for her right now. Right now, there's just one episode. And they were like, come in, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm so excited. I knew it. And so I read the character breakdown, and it was like Catholic, whatever. And I was like, okay, goody girl, okay. So I show up with like a skirt, a sweater. I put my hair in like a braid, and I had my glasses on. And I went in, and, the casting director saw me again, and he was like, okay, Justina, say your name, your height, and where you're from. And I'm like, okay. And I do my slay, and then he turns off the camera, and he's like, did you just come from school? And I was like, no. And he was like, what the heck are you wearing? And I was like, Catholic schoolgirl? And he was like, no. It said Catholic. It's just, she's Catholic, not a Catholic schoolgirl. And I was like, oh, shit. And so, he was like, take your hair out. And I was like, oh, fuck, okay. So, I took my hair out of the braid. I took my glasses off. I untucked my shirt and unbuttoned my sweater. And he was like, okay, that's much better. And I was like, oh, my God. And he was like, okay, well, just talk about yourself. And I was like, well, that was embarrassing. And then I got the part. So
at least
out.
he was looking out for you. Yeah.
Exactly. All my horror stories are the ones that I booked. That happened for my character Yoli too. I had my hair up, I had my glasses, I brought food in, and the casting director was like, take down your hair, take off your glasses. We want to see that that you're cute. And I was like, I wear my glasses every day. What are you trying to say? And I was like, oh, great. Now she hates me. And then I got a call, then I got the role.
There you go. You know what? Glasses are cute on anybody. You hear me? I'm taking a stand.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But for the people at home who can, watch the show, watch you, keep up with you on the online, where can they do all that?
Well, they can follow me at Justina.Justina on Instagram. And you know what? I'm not a big Twitter person, but I do have a Twitter, and it's Justina Adorno on Twitter. And I also have a vegan page where I post all the foods I eat and the food that I make, and any facts that I find that are important at my vegan page on Instagram. It's called Justina Vegan Journey.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Uh,
What's the best? Like, okay, let's say world's about to end, and you can only pick one last final meal. What do you pick?
so it could be a meal.
It can be a meal, yeah, not a 7-course meal, but a meal.
Okay. Ooh, that's really hard. It would have to be a toss up between like a bucket of fruit, but I would
Okay.
have to like pick out my fruit. Like I want mangoes and I want jackfruit and I want like really fresh like berries, and papaya.
Okay.
But if it's like a meal, I'd want like a raw cucumber pasta that I make with this avocado pesto sauce with olives and cherry tomatoes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna let you pick both of those because I love the fact that you said a bucket of fruit. Like I can't let that not be approved. Like, of course I'm gonna approve the bucket of fruit.
Thank you. I get both,
Of-
then I'm a happy girl. Then I would die happy.
There we go. There we go. Justina, thank you so much for chatting with me. You're so wonderful. Anytime you want to come back, just say the word. All right.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
There, and I'll bring the bucket of fruit.
Yay. Okay, perfect.
All right. But I'll let you go and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too, Chris.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.